Now, the people, good evening and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show and another edition of The Final Word. This time, focusing on another amazing late showing for Leeds, which has all but confirmed promotion with 12 games to go. That's what I'm saying anyway. We're there. Big up to Joe Blackburn for the redirect as well and everyone else in the comments. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel and, of course, get your comments in so we can discuss them. Make sure you check out these amazing channels as well. Lucky Leeds. You can get all sorts on their tactical videos, match reviews, and player ratings. Who'd have thunk it? Over to Jack as well. Jack City Music, City and Leeds fans. He mashes them both very, very well. Thursday he does a live stream as well, so make sure you check him out. And we've got Matty as well from Imagine Not Being Leeds, which is Just Joe from Timu. That's what we'll say.
I'll take that.
I knew you'd like that.
I'm
joking.
I love it, mate.
No, you're not. Check out Matty as well. No, I'm not. No. I love it. Yeah, so great stuff. Right, let's get stuck into it. Listen, I did a lot of talking last night. I've not actually heard the thoughts of, I've seen the musings of Lockie over on WhatsApp, but you can't properly get the emotion from it. So we'll start with you, Lockie. You said just before we came live, you're still bouncing from it. It was a huge victory last night, wasn't it?
It was, mate. I'm glad you don't check all the messages during the game because me and Andre always have a kind of a breakdown halfway through it.
To be honest, I have to remove because I get notifications and I don't like the goals spoiling, so I remove WhatsApp when I'm watching live, man. I have to. Full time. It's not full time yet, mate.
But honestly, the noises I think I made probably all made when that second and third went in, even the first went in. You don't get them noises unless you know it's important. And this week, Monday to Monday, we've had two games that have been very similar and they've ended in our favour. And there's just that feeling now, isn't there, that if we were ever going to drop points, if we were ever going to mess up and shorten that lead to third place or second place, it was probably going to be these two games. And the way in which in both of them we just showed resilience. You know, look, we didn't play great for a period of yesterday. We didn't. They're a good team. It was going to be tough. It was. But we showed resilience like we did against Sunderland when we were behind. And I absolutely love that. And just the way in which I just love the goals, the way in which just back stick, another cross, another corner into the box, just a flick header to back post. You know, we talk about beautiful football and all that. Football don't need that. Joe Perot just hit one edge at box, it went in top corner. Do you know what I mean? That's football for you. That's why I love it. And yeah, honestly, mate, I'm just so happy right now. I love it. I love watching this team every week, even if it does, make your heart a bit mental. You love it, don't you? This is what football's about.
It is, mate. It is, exactly. We were just talking off air about the Premier League and whatnot, so enjoy these last few moments, these last 12 games. Dave Devonport as well says, a lot of love for you, Lockie, because it says, everyone raves about Tanaka, and who was it first that told us about him? Lockie, well done, mate. You were spot on. Give him a job, innit? Give him a job, Dave. That's what I say. Give him a job. I bet you were buzzing to see him score yesterday, though.
Great. World-class header as well, Joe. You know what I mean? World-class header.
Do you know what, though?
His celebration was amazing, though, wasn't it? When he ran in the crowd. I love that.
Yeah, of course. I love the way that our lads celebrate. I don't know. They just... I think because a lot of them are very young, when you see, like, the way Nonto, Ramazani, even Gulavogi, they do... I don't know... Is it just because it's Leeds? But they do seem to go a little bit wild a lot. But then again, why wouldn't you when we're scoring so late on, I guess?
The prize is the Premier League. They know they're close now. And the young lads, like you said, a lot of them probably not experienced this type of noise or feeling around playing. Ramazani, in his young career, has been in a relegation scrap in the league. Nonto was in, he's been in a relegation for Leeds United. They're all young lads and they're experiencing winning every week. And they're probably loving it.
Yeah. Jack, what were your thoughts, mate? Another crazy game. And to happen to my favourite manager, Chrissy Wilder, as well. I was, you must have been buzzing.
Yeah, man. I thought you'd have been torn, to be fair, which way to go with it. But you couldn't really lose when they went 1-0 up. I was feeling for you, really, you know. But to be honest, that when it was 1-0, I started to do that thing where, you know, as the game went on a little bit, and I actually thought we were good. First 20 minutes, they're a good side, aren't they? So it was going to be a decent game. And they actually pretty open. They came out. They were a bit tasty, weren't a bit nasty at times as well, I thought. Which I think Lockie spoke about this the other week, but we could have done a little bit more of that as well.
Yeah.
Every time we won the ball back, I don't know if you noticed, there was a foul came straight up that instantly. They were just putting a shutdown to us. But then
that's
they
where
were
we missed Ampadu, I think, Jack, on that.
Well,
that's
Ampadu loves it, doesn't he? I know
yeah,
we say it all the time, but that is what he would be about. It's just breaking it up by any means necessary. Don't let him get into any rhythm. Because at one point, I just wanted us to try and get a grip of the game a little bit. Just have a little bit, just stand the game still a little bit. You know, let us sort of dictate the pace of the game a little bit, bring it down a little bit, just take the wings off of them a little bit. But ultimately, we got back into the game. But I did start to think, I started to go, right, well, we're 1 point behind, really, you know, and then I started to go down that, you know, like, right, what's next? What am I going to do? What's my next excuse? So I was sort of like, you know, thinking about what I'm going to say yesterday, thinking, right, shit, I need to plan something here, But no, but the last 20 minutes, I don't know whether it's a thing now, but I remember Yaya Toure in last 20 minutes for Man City, there'd be like 1 goal down and there'd be 20 minutes left and it'd just become a beast. And I literally feel like the pressure we're putting on in these last couple of games, when we're up against it, the 20 minutes again is mad. You just know there's like a surge, it's a wave, and you know that we've got a chance all the time. And it might not come off. You know, I know it has done twice on bounce and we can't keep doing that. But there's a definite, there's a proper belief. I honestly think they know that we're the best side. And I think there's something in that where you just think, yes, you've been brilliant. That Sheffield been brilliant. And then just wait until we get going type of thing. You can't maintain this. I think there's feels like a boxing match. And you just think, like, well, we'll just wait till later rounds then and we'll have a look at it. Because, you know, Sunderland and Sheffield both very good sides. So, I mean, I wanted to win this one more because in reality, the Sunderland game we could have slipped up on points-wise because I don't think it would have had as much of an effect on us as obviously we'd have ended up second, wouldn't we, yesterday? But no, when goals started going in, it's just like, I mean, the relief. I mean, Firpo is such a Donny, isn't he? I love him so much, honestly. And like the first header, he's like Firpo don't get it wrong twice, does he? And the first header were a lot harder, but like I thought he only needs to try some at once, and then he's learned how to do it perfectly, and then he turns up for the second one. It was mint. And the Tanaka just on that celebration, Lockie, because I found that funny. He sort of celebrates twice because he's headed it and he doesn't know where it's going. He's like, has it gone in? Has it gone in? And then he sort of stops and then he realizes and he goes. It's so mint. But I agree there's a togetherness, Joe, yeah, because I think that is built. I think that's what builds this winning mentality. And winning games, why would they not all be sort of bang up for it, celebrating? They can't stop winning. It must be an amazing feeling to just know that you've constantly got it in the bag. It's a proper championship winning side, this, isn't it? And I don't want to keep saying it every week, but they can't keep proving this. They can't. Well, they can, but I mean, like they've proved themselves to everybody. There's no more arguments about it, unless there's a total, you know, meltdown and something outrageous happens. I cannot see. I'm now starting to wonder whether we can actually go the rest of the season
Unbeaten.
Yeah, it's so difficult to do that because is it 17 now?
What games left?
Yeah, unbeaten.
Oh, yeah, 17. It's the longest run since we won the league in 91-92, yeah.
Really? Jesus, right.
Yeah.
There's 12 games left, isn't there?
Yeah.
12. So, I mean, you're talking, what's that, 29?
Yeah. So I think we can get 100. I know we can get 111 points. I know I've done that much.
Right. I think there's 29 games unbeaten, though. That would be ridiculous.
16, sorry, it's 16.
Oh, is it 16? Yeah. 28.
16.
Regardless. Elever.
It'll be 17 on weekend anyway, won't
exactly,
it? You know what I mean?
It will.
Tomato and all that. Do you remember, Jack, when we did our prediction video?
Yeah.
For the month of February? Can you remember what we got? What we went for?
I knew we'd created a little bit of a gap, but we did have to edit it a little bit, didn't we, to be fair?
Yeah. So we had us on 73 points, and we got we're on 75, I think. So yeah. We didn't do too bad, mate. We didn't do too bad at all, to be fair. We did have Sheffield United on 70, and they're on... No, sorry, we had Burnley on 68. and Sheffield United on 68. But obviously, the Sheffield United are on 70. But Burnley were on 68, mate. So, you know, we didn't do too bad. So, yeah. I'll be doing another one of them tomorrow as well, folks, for the month of March. Hopefully, Jack's about. Maybe jump on again and we'll do. But yeah, Duncan says we went 29 unbeaten at the start of the 73-74. Okay, since then.
Well,
or since, well, it's longest unbeaten run since 91-92. I'm not sure. But yeah, I weren't even a twinkle in my dad's eyes during the Revy era, mate. So you know that's what it is. There were loads you touched on there, Jack, so much so that I've forgotten a lot of it, but a lot of it was bang on the money. No, a lot of it was bang on the money, though.
Can I just say one thing about what Jack said about the last 20 minutes? That's so true. And I think Dan James mentioned it. It was one of the lads who did the post-match presses about how fit this team is.
Yeah.
Now, look at him and this whole Farker's defensive and all this. Not recently, not since that Burnley draw. I mean, I'm looking at in the 89th, 90th minute, and we're throwing 5 or 6 forward, and they look fitter than everyone around them. They're running quicker. They've got more power in their legs. Like, I think it's an underrated thing, and something that the Bielsa side was so praised for is how fit they are. And I'm never going to say they're at that level, obviously, but it's clear every team we play we're fit.
I think they are, though, bro. I don't think it's wild to say they are as fit as that, lot.
No, I don't think as fit. I think
it's hard to be that fit when there's so many sprints and stuff involved.
Fit, maybe. Yeah,
too fit.
Yeah, like the way they got back, you know, when we'd lose the ball and you had 10 around ball in seconds. Like going forward in like the 89th minute, we're just chucking 6-7 forward, and no team can deal with that. And I love it. It's just
we conserve energy more in this side, don't we?
Definitely.
We don't do it aimlessly. If it's not on,
we also did it aimlessly.
No, I know that's bad, but you know what I mean, though, don't you? You know, like, I'll never forget that Liverpool game. I think it was Van Dijk. He just ran off, and then our defender followed him out. I'm like, what are we doing, man? And then fucking Matip just walked straight into Gap.
Against Spurs when Harry Kane moved to left back. So I think it was Cock followed him.
I was like, what's going on? But it is what it is, isn't it? He was still the GOAT and still is the GOAT. Yeah. Definitely. Matty, mate, you did a watch along. How did it go down? And give me your thoughts in the game before we get into some little fine minutiae details.
Yeah, watch along went really well, mate. I lost my absolute shit quite a few times, but the kids are asleep, so I've got to try and I got quite a few comments on my highlights saying you can tell the passion going for it, but I've also got to try and keep it down so I don't wake all kids up. But I loved it, absolutely. It was just a class game on it. You can definitely see as the game goes on, I think we get stronger. I think we wear the other teams down, and then in the last 20 minutes, as you've seen, we normally start quite hot, which surprised me how slow we started. But towards the end of the game, if it's tight, I mean, for us to not have that sort of performance in the last 20 minutes, you best be free up against us to have any chance of taking any points, because you get into that final 20 minutes and we are relentless, absolutely relentless. There's just a massive confidence in it, and we've all said we've said all season we've got the best players, we've got the best quality, all these things we say about the side, but we said these last year at times, but they didn't have the mentality. We didn't know till the back end of the season. We saw them go on a really good run this time last season, but the mentality wasn't there. I don't think this side's got that problem this year. I think sometimes the players who were here now who were here last year, sometimes you need to go through adversity. Sometimes you need them battle scars to know how to cope in certain situations, which I think this season they'll know how to overcome. QPR away, games like that, what they struggled in. Obviously, proof will be in the pudding, but I just think as a collective, they've got it all this year. There's an aura about this side now. Like you say, when they celebrate, people who were on bench last season, bit part players didn't probably feel part of the squad. We know these players this season. The players who are getting minutes are running on the pitch like they've scored the goal themselves. They're all in it. Every single player's dialed in. Farkas isn't making much decisions wrong. His subs are on point. That's proven with how many people are coming on and scoring goals. I can't name one area at the minute that we're doing even satisfactory. Everything is absolutely nailed on, and everybody's dialed in for it, and it's making the fans sort of love this. I don't like to compare it with Bielsa because we know how we felt about Bielsa. We had us in tears at moments, but it's feeling very, very similar to that. The love for certain players, maybe the manager will never have that love of Bielsa, but I'm feeling flutters when I'm watching him, feeling all nervous, all excited, all happy, just like I did under Bielsa. And it's certainly, I think it's taken 18 months, you know, for Farke to be really happy that the players are playing his system to the level he wants them to. And I feel like now they've got to that level, the shackles have come off, and you know what I mean? I don't think he wanted them to play as expansive until they were all absolutely dialed in perfectly, because I think he's a bit of a perfectionist, is Farke. He likes it to be perfect. I'm sure all managers do. I see a lot of similarities between him and how Bielsa played his football as well, but I think now everyone's dialed in. Now everyone's absolutely knows what they're doing. You can see we're a really well-drilled side. The fact that he were up in stands, I know he could communicate, but I never thought he'd have any bearing on the game, because we are a really well-coached side. And I think now everyone knows the roles. I think he's let him off the leash, and he knows that they can all bomb forward, but they'll all track back and they all do the work. And I think the biggest sort of change for us, I don't know if you'd agree, but recently has been having two fullbacks that do similar to what you had at Norwich, two really attacking fullbacks. I think last season you had Gray who sort of sat, you had Firpo going at times this season, you've had Bogle, but you've had Byram, and you know I'm a big fan of Byram, but he don't give you what Firpo gives you. All of a sudden, without suspensions and injuries, you've got Firpo and Bogle, and I think that's making us such, you know, just a massive threat all over the pitch, and we're getting goals from everywhere, aren't we, lads? You know, it's so exciting.
Yeah. I do want to say, like, I've noticed there has been, when you talk about, it's been a very slow burner for the manager.
Yeah.
But I do believe that fan opinion has changed. The majority. I've seen like little memes yesterday of him like being like one of the Star Wars characters looking down on the, you know what I mean, on his team from up on high. I've seen him like to Sting from WCW, all these little things that previously people wouldn't have gone to the lengths to make.
Yeah.
And I know it's trivial,
Yeah.
but that for me shows a definite switch of like, do you know what? I'm on board now. I like this guy. I want him to succeed. I think the way that he got the yellow for the celebration, all that, him maybe showing a little bit more emotion as well, always works with us. I think.
Even Sean Healy's farking now, Joe.
Oh, well, I mean...
Even Sean Healy's farking.
You don't know what day it is half at time, that lad. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, it wasn't Star Wars. It was the Fark Night. I don't know why that came to mind, but yeah. Probably because I was looking at Lockie as I said it, and I know he's a Star Wars fan, so I was like, it just came.
Me and Andrea did the reference in the chat, so maybe it was...
Is that where it came from? Right, that's... Yeah, there you go.
Said it at the same time, which made no sense. It was so weird.
But yeah, we're definitely seeing a switch, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see, because I think he deserves his flowers for what he's done. You know, I mean, to think back, and I don't want to harp back, but he was tactically inept. It was all about the players. It was all these things now that we can look at and go, well, do you know what? He was bang on the money. I think, Lockie, what's your take on his early change? I almost felt that he realised, actually, maybe it was what Sheffield United brought to the game, but he thought, I've got this a little bit wrong. I need to change this up, because of the subs were so early compared to what we used to. Is that the way you saw it? He knew it weren't working, I guess.
He had a different view of the game. He saw it higher up. He could see what maybe duels better, like pressing patterns better, stuff like that. You see all the pitch, basically. You're not high level, you're above it. You know, and you see a lot more, like shape-wise. And he probably saw it early and went, all right, I need to make a change, which is proof that managers are very stubborn, because if he weren't up there, he wouldn't have done that. He'd just done it at the 70th minute again, regardless. So, it's early, and I think they did need it, to be honest. Speaking to Andrea in the chat about Gruev, and obviously, we both like him a lot, but I think you admitted as well, Joe, this wasn't really a game for him. I feel like he was thrown in last minute with Ampadu's injury. I don't think he was due to start. I think Ampadu was going to go in there, and he struggled with the tempo of it. Gruev, for me, is a very technical player who likes build-up play, likes it, kind of a defined position where he can spread the ball, pass and move kind of thing, like the anchor. But when it's a high-tempo, physical game with physical players around him, I think he might struggle a little bit. I think he's not a physical player in the sense that he's tall or he's strong or he's quick. He's physical in the sense that he can put in a challenge and cover ground. But that game required, we mentioned earlier, it required Ampadu. To be honest, I think it was his type of game. And I wouldn't even put Tanaka in that big physical presence either. I think he's more of a technical player. So that's why they dominated. And it did need to change. What you get with Rothwell is he can drive with the ball, and that's important. because if you can have different options in midfield, you can kind of negate their physicality in there, which we did. And then we saw when Rothwell came on and a few more changes, Nonto was brilliant when he came on, that we just controlled the game then. And that's what we were looking for in the first kind of 30 minutes, and we couldn't do. They controlled it. Like Jack said, you know, they were kind of dictating the fouls and I saw Vinicius for one of their goals run through 3 of our players, and they just dangled the legs, stuff like that. And I'm not just picking him up because he wasn't playing, but Ampadu fouls him there and he ain't getting past him. And it's stuff like that matter, you know. And then in the box, O'Hare, who's about 5'6", had a free header. Like stuff like that just really irked me. And I think he saw that and he thought it needed something different. It needed fresh energy. And it worked, didn't it? So, yeah, we were everyone that's saying it, you know, he needs to make early subs, all right. I guess he might know that now, and maybe he'll do it more often. Who knows?
I think as well with that, I agree, but I think he's found his subs as well, hasn't he? So he's a bit like, he does like his own patterns as well, doesn't he? So like you can sort of see what he's going to do. And I just think there's everybody should trust Rothwell a little bit more in centre mid. I know he's not like the sitting 6, but if Tanaka and Rothwell play together, in particularly in a game like that, Tanaka is better in the 6 than Gruev is. So you can, I think that's worth the sacrifice. I were begging Rothwell to get on in that game. I also think when the game is a little bit fast paced and stuff, and Rothwell's not, you know, the most aggressive player or whatever, but if you do give him the ball, he will take the ball 100 times out of 100. He never hides from it. And I'm not saying any of these lads hide, to be fair, because the confidence is so high. But and I don't mean this negative towards Rothwell, but that's all he has to offer. It's like he always wants the ball, doesn't he? In any position, he'll take the ball. He's super confident on it. He'll always take a touch. He'll take a sting out of it. He'll beat someone if he has, like, he'll drive with it, or he'll just easy ball it, or he might look over the top, anything like, you know, he always wants the ball. So I think it's, in a sense, there's 2 ways of killing a game. I think that there's being a bit aggressive and horrible in there, and then there's also getting hold at ball and having a bit of both, which I think like Tanaka has more tenacity in him than Rothwell. But I also think Rothwell's quite good on the press and stuff, though. He actually gets about a bit. I know he can get caught out a little bit in like positionally, but I just think Farker just trusts him in there, and I think he's built that level of trust. It needed that change, and he does deserve 30 minutes. I also really, really like the fact that Peru went into tanks. I don't know if everybody remembers last year when it was like, But he needs time as well. Do you know what I mean? Everybody needs to sort of get to know each other a little bit. And I don't mean personally. Do you mean like what you actually want from the player? And Peru's been a number 9, then been asked to play a 10 in a really good side. It's not been his position. He's probably thought he's going to be up top. Then it was Rutter to start with, you know. And then when they swapped it, that did work better. He was probably more comfortable. But you know, you find it with Guardiola's sides and stuff, don't you? Where they can all start to sit in different positions. And I'm not saying 10's that much of a different position, but if we'd assigned this player as a 10, you wouldn't really be, if it were him and Aronson sort of fighting it out, you wouldn't be anywhere near as concerned as we were last year. I just think they're all found their role in the side. And then you've got like your Byrams and stuff that just come on and you just know proper solid. We're in such a mint place. Just that there's not a player, you know. And like Lockie just said, when Nonto came on, I thought he were like, that's what we wanted from Nonto.
Unreal.
He was so like sharp though, wasn't he? Like I think, I mean, the strike again, Tanaka doing that thing where he just turns on like a sixpence and just and he did it again, setting Nonto up. It's like it's crazy.
I think when you get Rothwell coming on, obviously he's replacing Gruev, who was a little bit off it in that game, but you're also getting the best out of Tanaka because Tanaka's played his best football outside of Rothwell for me. So you're getting a level up on both players there. And then obviously with Joseph coming on, he'll do the running that you lose of Aronson, and Pirro coming in that 10. For pockets of time, for spells in games, he's very good in that 10 lately, is Pirro. Very good. I mean, it's come to a point now, hasn't it, where you probably don't want to take him off, even though, you know, in the game, I thought he's been very good lately, even when he had, you know, the odd game he hasn't scored in. I thought he was out of the game yesterday for that, you know, while he were up in the 9, dropped into that 10, started getting onto the ball more. The ball's sticking now when it comes to feet with Pirro. Yeah. It's took a while. He's sticking. His first touch looks like it's improved massively. He looks really good for those 20-minute spells in that 10. And you know you need him on pitch really for full 90 minutes because he only needs one stick. I mean, yesterday, I don't even want to say that was a stiff at goal. You know, he doesn't normally hit him from there, but what a shot. And you know, that's what he's there for. So I think that double sub there were absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. I was gutted that Joseph snatched at his chance because really wanted him to get a goal. But I think Rothwell, just touching on what you said, Jack, I think Rothwell's probably I don't want to say the bravest, but I look at him as one of the bravest players we've got in our squad. You know, he never shies away from wanting the ball. It doesn't matter how tight the area it is. You know, he's just, like he came on yesterday and he took the mantle of that game. He walked on that pitch and he took that game by the scruff of the neck and said, we're going to win this. And obviously, you know, the change he made at Sunderland were massive. He gets the 2 assists. He sent the corner in that ultimately ended up in off Tanaka. That was the same again, wasn't it? That was Rothwell's Stroud flick on. And I mean, that's all of a sudden we look threatening from set pieces, which you only really get when Rothwell's on pitch. But yeah, I think I'm just a massive fan of Rothwell. And I would say now if Ampadu stays fit, Stroud plays, you probably don't see much of him other than bench option. But now with Ampadu being out, I'd expect Rothwell to start at home. There's always going to be that talking point. Gruev might play away games, but I don't think you lose much defensively with Rothwell in there, if I'm honest. I know there were certain games this season, weren't there, where we struggled away from home when Ampadu wasn't there. We couldn't win away from home with them, so that was a problem. But I think now we've evolved again. I do think you can play Rothwell and Tanaka now.
So,
in my opinion, it would be all
yeah.
right.
So to be honest, as someone who's been not against that, but someone who's said, no, I can see the merits of Gruev. The last 2 games have shown me now, or have given me as enough confidence where I actually am now want a midfield of Rothwell and Tanaka again. That's where I'm at again. Yeah. Now, of course, it's horses for courses, and it's good that we can have different iterations of midfield due to the players that we've got. But I'm like I have been. I'm a Rothwell fanboy. After saying he was shit at start of season, it's been quite the journey. But it
does got just to cling on to what Matty just said as well. He is grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. That's kind of what I'm saying. There's more than one way of doing it, and he's like, give me the ball. He drives forward. There's a proper energy to him. Yeah, and to say he just sort of like looks like he's got rambles about a bit. Yeah, he's all about it. He gets everywhere.
But does that come back to that point, Jack, that I think Lockie made last week of like sometimes it's better to have him on the bench to impact the game as opposed to Gruev? I'm not saying, but then it's that Pirro argument again, in it, when everyone said, well, he's better off bench. It's like, well, you can't reward a player for playing well off that bench by never starting him. It just,
I think, the difference in that is probably the fact that we have good depth and we don't have depth up front, really. So Pirro of had to play because he was scoring, and that's what Farker wants him to do. Yeah. My thing with Rothwell is, he's outstanding, but I think there's certain games where we play teams that play quite direct, where he can struggle, where it's some quick turnovers, where they go forward and they find spaces. Because if it's behind him, it's not defensive midfielder. When it's compact or where we dominate the ball, he's very important because he's very good at reading the game. Yeah. So if there is a pass, he'll read it, he'll know where to go. But it's when it's behind him, and that's where Ampadu's like just unbelievably good at this level. But honestly, I've looked at the fixtures there, and the games in that I'd only say Rothwell might struggle in that role is against Middlesbrough, because they're a team that do that. Although it'd be a different Middlesbrough now because Carrick has been sacked. But I just love the idea and the options we've got there. It's just so nice to have, and they're all quite different as well, and that's what's important. And for the manager in these last 12 games, I guess it's kind of what does he do? I think the Ampadu injury will help because it's quite obvious now. But we are a better team than earlier on in the season. I think Rothwell will understand the squad and his role more. Tanaka as well. There is differences there. And look, I think that Ampadu Tanaka midfield would have been the one. But like you said, do I care remotely that Rothwell will play? Absolutely not, because I think he's absolutely mint. And look, we've seen in the last 2 games, he's done exactly what he's needed to do in both games to prove that he can change a game. And if that don't merit a start, I don't know what does, to be honest.
True.
I still think that, Lockie, by the way, I still think Ampadu and Tanaka is the best 2 centre mids.
Yeah.
It's just while ever Ampadu's not there, I do think it has to be Rothwell.
How do we feel about that Ampadu situation? Because it sounds like it might be done for the season, job.
It's mad, isn't it? You lose arguably your best centre mid, or arguably your captain as well. And I mean, I don't think he's as good as Tanaka, to be honest. But a lot of people would say
it's the balance that them two have.
Yeah, 100%. But you lose him from our side potentially for end of season, and it's the centre half position that's a problem. The midfield, where he's injured, that's his position. That don't really feel like we're not asked about that because you've got 3 very capable players. It's a centre half in it, and you've got Pascal, who we know picks up injuries. Can he go another 12 games? Can he go that without another injury? That's the worry, which is just strange that his key position isn't really affected. It's his secondary position.
I agree, and that's where I want to do a centre back in January, but I didn't get what I wanted to. So
I still
just got to hope.
Him.
Yeah, it's just we just got to hope now that Strout or Rodon don't get injured, which is frightening, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, Rodon's injury record's fantastic. Strout's isn't, so you'd be more worried about that one. He's just come back from injury. Was he slightly rushed back because of that? Don't know. I don't think he looked 100% sharp yesterday, to be honest, but that's to be expected. Obviously, he's not played in 90 minutes in how long in the league. So, yeah, it is a worry for me. And honestly, missing your captain, I think it showed in the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or a 25-minute period in that game where we did look lost. The captain's main role for me, I think, is just to set a standard of the squad. This is what he expects. And he'll continuously remind them on the pitch, this is what we expect to do. The captain is basically the earpiece for the manager, right? He's the one that gives the instructions. He's the one that demands the intensity and the level. This is what we expect. And you could tell on that pitch, if they were all doing that thing where they all look at each other and they were doing the arms thing again. They didn't know. They didn't have Farker on the side. They didn't have Ampadu on the pitch. They were a bit lost. They found it out. They figured it out at half time. They obviously had a good chat, which helped. That's my worry. Now, I'm glad that we've got rid of Sheffield United now and we don't really have a team of that calibre because they should be able to adapt quicker. But my only worry, because of how good our options are, is that standard being set by the captain, which is Ampadu. And that I just hope these lads, and I think they are, by the way, I'm not saying they won't, I just hope they can not continue to look so confused in long periods of game. Because there was a time in that game where, honestly, it could have been 2-0 and it's been a different game then. And it just needed him. It needed our captain in there for me.
Yeah, I felt that. Because there's a lot of experienced pros within that Sheffield United thing, but every single set piece, Ben Brereton Diaz was there right on top of the referee. All these little nuances that we probably take for granted as fans that Ampadu gives us, that we don't see. And I agree. The first 20-25 minutes, they came firing out of the blocks. Yeah. But we'll talk about Meslier. I don't think he helped the situation. I think he aided it. He aided the crowd. He aided Sheffield United realising they can get on top of him. And sometimes he looked shaky and he had one of them moments where his confidence looked like, oh, my God. He dropped one early doors. Nothing came of it. Then he tried to fucking throw one in his own net that Gruev knocked off the line. And then it wasn't long before. And I've heard, listen, people have said, he can't really do out about the goal. I get it. Listen, we're not here to debate that, but he didn't really help yesterday for that initial 25 minutes. But, we got through it. He made some good key saves after that. There was one one-on-one, I think, where... big save. He made some big saves. So that's important. It does. All it does... make me realise, is like, we need to get a better keeper in the summer. We do, we have to at this stage.
Go on. You're just saying you don't think, like, fair play to Sheffield United, they're the first side I've really seen this season stick it on Meslier. I mean, you think of mistakes he's had, there's been games after that where he hasn't been tested, even when they've had corners, they haven't been putting it on his toes. Like, they really, really stuck it on him yesterday and made it very uncomfortable for him, so fair play to them. They had the hands on him, didn't they? They were right up in his grill, they really made it difficult, but I'm massive on, me, you've got to come through adversity, and we win that game 3-0, we are as happy today as we were, the way we win. Sometimes you've got to go through adversity for it to be better, and, he really struggled there and he's come through it. Now, the difference between now and early in the season is the lads are capable of scoring 3s and 4s every game. Now it feels inevitable we're going to get those sort of numbers, so he can probably get away with the odd mistake. Luckily, I mean, let's be fair, 65 minutes into that game, you think if this is 1-0, where's Meslier standing? And we're having that same conversation we've had 2 or 3 times this season. It was a horrible state of mind to sort of think of how that game could end. But then he has made some big saves recently, and ultimately we've got to back him. And I do think he's growing. There is going to be odd mistakes in him as a goalkeeper, and he's quite shaky, as we know. But I do feel like he has been growing in confidence. I just hope that 25, because that's all it wanted. A 25-minute spell after that, he looked confident again. Didn't look like it affected him for 90 minutes. He got through it. I just hope he can kick on again, because what we've seen for the last 5-6 games, we're probably the best Melia we've seen for a couple of years. He's done really well recently. I just hope that won't affect his confidence, because he did get through it. He made a good save, and he was part of the reason we come away with 3 points yesterday, regardless of the goal. So I hope he just kicks on.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say I watched. Obviously, I was annoyed on the day, but I watched the highlights this afternoon, and honestly, for the goal, I think he's unlucky. I do. I've changed my mind on the goal, because
he didn't expect it to come off a post, did he?
No,
he expected the goal
to start.
Yeah.
Terrible,
Shrek should just score.
Yeah,
it's the post, and he's going so hard to try to get to that front post.
Yeah,
and you look at his left foot. His left foot gives way when he's going, and he kind of loses balance and thingies it. My issue was the 1 or 2 moments before and after that scared me the most. Those were the problems, because I think that affected him. Or it's when he first came out and he dropped it. I think that affected him. But one thing that was weird, he usually punches them.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that he dropped. He didn't. I don't know why he didn't try punching.
Try to catch everyone, wasn't it? It was weird.
Yeah. And this is why when people say, "Why don't they punch him? Why don't they catch him?" Well, yeah, that's why.
Do you know what though? As well, considering you say that, it could have been a ploy, because Sheffield United have players that fire him in from outside the box on a regular basis. They do like to have a go. You know, the midfielders, Vinny Souza, Hamer, Peck. So, again, it could have been a decision from the goalkeeping coach or cohort to say, listen, don't be punching it tonight, because it could drop to one of their boys on edge. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. I think it was, Joe, honestly, because he usually does that every week. He'll punch them, and it's fine. You know, it gets dealt with. And I think, but then the second half, I thought it was really good. Like, he weren't amazing. He didn't have to do anything amazing, but he had 3 or 4 quite difficult moments where he just grabbed him. You know, the one took a deflection, that was quite good. The one-on-one was outstanding. I mean, if he don't come out, they'll probably score.
Yeah.
Right at the edge of the box, right on the line. Fantastic save. So, yeah, very dodgy first half, but a good second half.
It's mad.
Honestly.
That goal they scored, lad, you saw the best and worst of Mez in that 5 seconds, didn't you? Because the initial save were actually top draw. He tipped that onto bar. That was an incredible save. If that gets cleared, we're all lauding him for one of the best saves we've seen in a long time. Like, it were right up there. And then obviously 5 seconds later, it looks like he's thrown his net. It's like the best and worst of Mez all in a 5-second spell. But yeah, it is what it is.
It's not necessarily about Mez, but just in general, what's happened to keepers like coming and being? Has anybody gone up against a keeper? It's horrible. I don't care what standard you play at. Like, they've got their arms, elbows out, knees out. There's no way you can get anywhere near a keeper without being extremely winded on your back, like whinging. I don't know what's happened to them all. They come out and I don't know what's happened to just coming and wiping everybody out. They're gone. None of them do it.
Didn't he, Jack? And it was brilliant.
And he took Robinson. Yeah, he took him, and then he landed on him and everything. He left leg on him, didn't he? Put leg into him a bit and that. And it's like, you meant to go like, oh, keeper's coming out. I'm going to get battered here. You know, like, you know. I mean, I'm maybe a bit more soft than everybody else, but, you know, it were never good when I thought we're going up against keeper. Big brutes on Sunday morning. It's like, just, they do need a little bit of that, though. Just get rid of everybody in front of you. Yeah. And, like, if Rodon's in way, Rodon would go, fair enough, our in way, just take me as well. Just take them all. You come in the opposite way, aren't you? Just take them. I don't get it. And that ain't just Mez. I think there's loads of them that are at it.
I agree,
yeah. Props, I just want to focus on as well, again, I guess, props to the manager just in terms of the substitutions that were made, because at the time when I saw Nonto getting ready, I thought James was the right sub. Don't think James had a good game up until that point. When I saw Joseph getting ready, I'm thinking, Pirro probably the likely sub, but again, I thought they were bang on to kick, because James ends ending the game with 2 assists, doesn't he? It was interesting to see him bring Nonto on and not Largy as well, because normally Largy comes on the left. But for me, this is first time in a long time as well. I do want to praise Nonto. I thought when he came on, he did really, really well. And obviously, it was his shot that created the corner that gets us the goal, and it's a banging shot as well, by the way, and a great save by Cooper. Another props to the manager, I think, in that respect as well, in terms of his decision making and the subs that he made, because I'm not sure I'd have gone that way. But listen, I'm not a backing manager, but you know what I mean. I think fair enough. He got it right again.
Nonto reminded me a little bit of when he used to come on the Prem and do that.
Yeah.
Similar. Do you reckon, because he's so young and he needs to change if this is the case eventually when he's older, but do you reckon he just enjoys them big games more? You know, the Premier League, every game was big, wasn't it? There was Jeopardy.
Yeah,
maybe he gets a bit bored with these easier games. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you guys think? Because
Could be, mate. Could be. Because we've seen stinking performances from him when he's been in the 11 in the FA Cup or whatever, where I was really disappointed in that. And I've gone, what? You know what I mean?
They were all bad in that, though. I hate them. Games. Honestly, when they change them all and then go, oh, we're terrible. Like, well, you know, Geldart did that one, so we never saw him again. It's like you can't just put players in a bit of dross. Do you know what I mean? Because I know everybody says, oh, well, there were a lot of, and I said, you know, we had an half decent side out, but it's harsh on him that. I agree he's not done enough off at bench in general, but I think there will be something in that lot, to be fair. I don't think it'll be even like, you know, I know you're not saying it's deliberate, but I just think he'll be probably watching it like really watching the game. I think it was Keane months and months and months ago used to say about subs, like, are you watching the game? Like, are you actually like being on the left wing now when Solomon's on the ball? Like, are you on the ball? Because a lot of them are just are they? They're just chilling out, or you know, they're chatting and they're not in the game. You need to be like ready and looking at what's occurring. Because he were lightning when he came on. He looked faster though, and I know it sounds silly. He's not. Not faster, but it was intensity with him. He looked like he was like getting about and like giving it like and he moving it on. Excellent.
Thing is, with Nonto, obviously, if he starts and he didn't have a good game, that's one thing. It can happen. He comes on most of the time as a sub. We might be 3 up, and it's a lot of time he's making a lot of subs, and it's sort of, you know, chill out, put your slippers on and your robe on, and just ease into the last 20 minutes. The game was still in the balance when he came on. Yeah. He came on with that bit between his teeth. That's probably why you saw best Nonto, because he came on and the game was in the balance. We weren't winning. I don't think we were winning when he came on. You know, he came on and it was part of the reason we won. Whereas normally he comes on as a sub and we 3 up, or he starts and sometimes he's just off it. So I think that what key for Nonto. He came on and he was given that mantle. You know, the confidence he'll have been given coming on over largely, like you say, Joe. Right, will he go? He hadn't had that. He's normally coming on when game's done. There's a difference in your mindset when that, you know, when you.
Well, it's not just his mindset that either, is it, Matt? It's the team. No. You can come on like, right, give me like, let's go, and then everybody's a bit more like sluggish with it, like they're just killing game off, and you're like, I want to get back on the pitch here, like, you know, give me something to go at. I also think that's credit to Farker, and I think he's been at this for a few months. He's rotated, like he's left people that just haven't come on. He's done it to Joseph a bit, not come on, probably thinking I'm going to get a chance here, and he's brought Bamford on, or he's brought, you know, just kept Peru up top, changed 10 or whatever. So he's not always brought them on. So when they do get their opportunity, it's like, this is my opportunity this week. They're sort of waiting. They're not sure if they're actually going to get that chance in game. So I think that's credit to Farker, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
We always forget just how young he is. Like, he's younger. I'm fairly sure he's younger than Joseph is not, though, or they're the same age. We'd never make that comparison because he's a bit more experienced. But honestly, like, and this is probably the arrogance of youth, and a lot of them probably say he doesn't want to play in this league. He probably hates it. Probably just he wants to get out of it as soon as possible. And maybe he was slightly not, you know, when he got brought on in these games against teams, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll play, but I want the big games. Maybe he just loves that. He's a big game player. A lot of players are like that. You know, they just love those big. It's what football is, them contests. And he got brought on, like you guys said. He says, "This is you now. I'm not large. This is your time." Yeah. And he went, right, I'll prove to you. And maybe now, with the jeopardy in the season, with the Premier League so close, maybe now, you know, he might start playing like we know he can, and that's only good for us. And I hope he does, because he was good when he came on. It weren't long, but he was effective, very effective.
Yeah, he was.
And also in Premier, sorry, Joe, he was obviously desperate to prove himself as a football player. Yeah. He's done that bit. We can all sort of see what he is now, and then it's like, right, now he's got something to actually maintain. It's hard to maintain what you have shown. Do you know what I mean? If he's had a 10% drop off, and we've seen what we've seen from him Prem when he knew you've got to be 120% at it, aren't you, in Prem? So the drop down, maybe he's got a little bit. I mean, now I'm putting all sorts of things out there, but maybe he's got a little bit lax in himself, just thinking, right, this will be my year. Like, I can control games, and maybe you're not at that level yet where you can just get on pitch and do your own thing. You know, you still need to have like that Prem mindset that I need to prove myself every week. You can't sort of like take his foot off at gas.
No, yeah, you bang on the money. Definitely. Look, we've done the game. Let's talk look at nod to the future just for the last 15 or so. Do you know how many? What do you think's the expected points that Opta have got us on? But they have us, by the way, as 98.16% on for promotion. Yeah, 88% for title, and only 1.84% promotion through playoffs. So, like, 98% on at this point.
How much through playoffs? What's the percent chance of that?
1.84%.
Brilliant. Right, okay.
They must have us over 100 points.
Yeah, so it's bang on 100.
Always bang on 100. I think we get 107. Me, I think we might draw 2 games and win 10. I think we end up with 107.
Which should be the points record.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's 111 we can end on. I think we might draw 2. I just don't see us losing. We've lost 3 in 30. I just don't see it. It'll be the one you don't expect, won't it? They'll buy
definitely the one.
That's the problem. But I'm super confident. Like my thing this season's only ever been that away form, and because we look relentless away from home, I don't see us losing at Ellen Road. Let's be honest. And away from home, a couple of draws, give or take, and yeah. And we should be aiming for that. We are unreal. You look at the team points record.
I want 100 points.
It looks nice, doesn't it? It looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. I still want one more than Sheffield United, so they can have the trophy. They can have the fake points trophy. It'll be even more sweeter. No, I honestly, lads, I don't know. I just wanted to win the league. Okay, if we get 3 more points, as long as it's 3 more points in second, I don't care. You know what I mean? So,
Have I got my Leeds tinted glasses on here? But when you look at the people going for promotion, how the teams going for promotion, Leeds look like a Premier League outfit for the going up and then stabilising. Whereas you look at a Burnley, you look at a Sheffield United, I don't see anything other than a yo-yo.
Sheffield United is a championship squad,
exactly.
Their January business, and I know I was bemoaning ours, but even their January business is championship.
Yeah,
like they've got to pay 10 million for Tom Cannon. He's not good enough for Prem yet.
That's a bad move now. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It all depends on what the summer. I still think we're a long way off it.
Yeah.
Because, and what I mean, but like if you see Wolves, who are now what I don't know, they're losing to Fulham, but they're going to stay up, and there's a nice gap between them and Ipswich. You look at the players in their side. Kuna, Ray, Gomez, all these players, they're fucking levels above what we've got even now. So
top European sides, they got
exactly. So we need to go again and spend. And you know where I'm at is like, I know I'm critical of the 49ers. I know I've said I want, but what I will say for them, when they sign a player, he's fucking good. They've not signed a bad player yet. We can all mention Spence, but there was off-field shit with that. I listened to a podcast this week where Ian Wright was saying he's got to knuckle down, and when he knuckles down, and look what happens. Look at what happened for him at Forest. Look at what's happened now at Spurs. He was shit at Borough. He was no good at Leeds United, but he was a good player. Outside of that, they've not signed a bad player. People will say Darlow, but he came in. He's our second choice, so it's not a bad signing.
No.
You know,
and Darlow would have been all right.
Yeah, it'd have been all right.
If he'd have been in there, you'd have gone, well, we need to improve it. But you wouldn't have gone, that's an horrendous signing. It's just like, well, we're championship. Darlow, decent.
I agree.
I think honestly, Leicester didn't do enough business for me. I think Ipswich and Southampton, and maybe they've got the eye on coming back down. And I don't think we will. I think we're ready. I think we want to stay.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they are, they've signed a lot of championship players, good championship players, but they're still championship players. And the level between championship and Premier League is a joke. Like you think of all these teams that I made an example of the day because people talking about LUFC saying he's a European player, against Bogle, and I'm saying Bogle could be a European player. Yeah. We've seen him in the Prem. There's so many levels between Championship and Premier League. You think of La Liga, Serie A, the French League, the Eredivisie. They're all between the Championship and Premier League. So you can be a good player in those leagues and still not be good enough for the Premier League. So it's so hard. So when you bring in, I don't know how many, loads of Championship players in Sunderland, Southampton, and Ipswich, loads, weren't there? There's no guarantee that all of them are going to work. And this is the result. You've got to bring in, for me, it's a balance. You've got to bring in stars in Europe that have done well and 1 or 2 good championship players. If you go either way with one or the other, you're in trouble. Like, look, when we went up and who we brought in, you're thinking Rodrigo when we could have got, Watkins.
Yeah.
We went too much down that European side, didn't we?
Yeah.
And not enough down Championship. Whereas these guys are going too much down the Championship. There's got to be a balance for me. And I think the ownership know that. I think they'll be ready. I do. We still might just finish 17th, but that'll be enough.
Do you all think we've got a good foundation for when we go up? Maybe better than we had before.
Oh, better than the rest. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've got a
foundation to build on.
I am bothered about this yo-yoing thing. Obviously, I don't want us to do it. I am bothered about that. Jesus wept. I don't want to be coming back down. But I mean, I don't think it's a true representation. I think everybody's going a bit overboard with. I know nobody wants to. Well, I don't really care, to be fair, who goes down, but and it's not good for the league and all this stuff. But I mean, Leicester lost that goon, didn't they, at the start of the season? He went to Chelsea, didn't he? Whatever you think of him, I know he's not.
Yeah, Jews.
So that's a big thing for them. They couldn't spend any money or whatever. I just think, like Lockie just said, I think if they do a bit of both, I've got no problem with going into Europe and having a little look at players and stuff and dragging them over. But if it doesn't work, I think you can get stung even more than you can in I think English. They don't have to be English players, but English proven players that can be overpriced. But at least you know exactly what you're getting from them. You've got much more of a chance with it. I think there's a grey area when we start going, you get. That's what I was saying about Rothwell. Like, I don't want to keep banging on about Rothwell. But, if he's like 5 to 8 million, it's like, why wouldn't you want him in the squad? And then you can have a look. You can go out and have a look then. You know what I mean? And then you've got, there's some back. If we just say, right, go, we can get better. I honestly think there's a risk in there. I think we need to hold what we've got, genuinely retain what we've got, and then obviously try and push on from it. But I think, to be honest, and it's going to come down to a lot to Farker, but, if it's just the start, if we can get off to a decent start, if we're 10th after 8 games, which is not unachievable, it's going to be very difficult to stay 10th till the end of the season. But if we can just start well, your season can sort of collapse, but you've pulled away. So you're already away from them all. Then you can get to 25 games, not won a single game, but nobody below you has either. So it's like you still end up being like around 15th. So it really is just the first 10 games, I think. We've just got to get off to a decent start. Get some wins. A few wins in first 10 games would be massive.
Yeah.
This recruitment is it's good. Like Joe said, you got Wolves who are nearly at the bottom of the league, obviously far from bottom, and they're signing players from top European teams. That's the level to stay in this league, and they're only just doing it. And also the manager as well. You've got to get the right coach and give him the right players that he needs, and even that might not be good enough. You've got to be ambitious, and you do have to take risks. Unless we want to be that, we'll be all right if we go back down. Luton tried that, and look at them, don't work. Yeah. They didn't recruit well. They got too arrogant with their players. They trusted them too much. And they've been in the Prem last year. They're not bothered about Championship now. That's why they are where they are. It's a similar team, isn't it? Not lost money. So, yeah, but that will be a problem in a few weeks. That's what we've got to deal with in the summer. Right now, these lads deserve all the credit and these deserve all the praise. And I just want to quickly mention Rodon because we haven't even spoke about him. I thought it was, and he has been for weeks, been absolutely unbelievable. Joe Rodon. I think he's quality. He's so quick, by the way. I didn't realise how quick he was. He's like not just for a centre back. He's just quick generally. His recovery pace is a joke, man.
Is he a Prem player, Lockie? Can he be a Prem player? I believe in him, but I don't know if I'm just a happy clapper.
I think he's improved since he was last there. Maybe he was a little young when he was there before at Spurs. I do think it's important though that we bring in a very good centre back from Europe to keep the standards high. I do think we would need that.
Well, we need one, don't we? Because we ain't got any really, have we? So we do need one.
Rodon
did that thing against the first goal. It must just be a complex he's got. When he can't get to it, he goes like that. Like everything's all right. It's gone past. Don't worry, it won't go in. And then obviously he does it every time. He goes like, no danger. It must just be a complex that he's got. Like, I can't get to this. What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. You're right. Actually, he needs to stop doing that. That's true.
He loves doing it. It's a complex, definitely. It's a panic thing. He thinks I can't intercept this. What's going to go on behind me? Because he obviously doesn't know where the ball's going. It's a complex. I've got loads of them. I know what they are.
Right, we've got some super chats to finish up with. So I'll just quickly go through these. William Morrison says, great win. I have to remind myself it's not how this club starts a match, it's how they finish it. That's what is different from last year's games. Yeah, fair enough, William. Go to the end, don't we, in terms of subs goals and scoring late goals. No one does it better. Kershaw, big up Kershaw. He says 16 games unbeaten, 5 wins away from 90 points, 12 games to go. There's only one Daniel Parker. It's mad when you think it's only 5 wins away from 90 points. Dominic says, in my opinion, Cooper should save or at least get a stronger hand on Pirro's shot. Oh, I don't know, mate. It's rifled. If that's
he's a good keeper as well, and he got nowhere near that.
Yeah,
that's so hard.
Yeah, I'd love to know the trajectory on it and the pace and that. He absolutely leathered it, man. It was a great finish. And Ming59 says, just to say, Jack's live last night was mint. There you go. Make sure you check out City Leeds fans as well, folks. The fun doesn't stop here either, because straight after this, Ought to Know Better are live. Ought to Know Better are live straight after this. Last week, when I sent you all over saying Gilly don't know ball, Aronson's a baller, unfortunately, Gilly wasn't on the show. So Luke's requested tonight that we do it again, because Gilly is on the show tonight. So, just Joe Raid, Gilly doesn't know ball, Aronson's a baller, and actually, he doesn't rate Pascal Struijk either, so tell him Struijk's the... just one sec. Steve, what the fuck are you on about, mate? What are you on about? It's getting like watching the BBC biased. What are you going on about? Is that because I didn't interact with one of your comments? Are you getting precious again, broski? Relax. Why is it biased? What are you going on about?
You look like you're talking to someone in the room, Joe. It looks like
I'm looking at the comments. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments, man. Fucking hell, man. What is he going on about, man? Anyway, acknowledge me. There you go. You've had your moment now. Fuck off. Oh, what is it? You saw Furpo.
Yeah.
You saw Just Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, folks, straight on over. Ought to Know Better. Put a chat in there. Struijk's the Donny. Bombard you with messages too. Yeah, well, they've got to be worth putting up, man. Do you know what I mean? Listen. So, go on over. Aronson is a baller, Struijk's a Donny, and Gilly doesn't know ball straight after this. So, you redirect straight over that. Go over there. Enjoy Ought to Know Better. Enjoy these amazing channels. Another great foursome as well. And, we'll see you in a bit. Peace out, folks. Bye-bye now.